So hello and namaste from Kathmandu, Nepal. At the time of filming this video, my sister and I, we are still currently here in Nepal just for a couple more days just to rest and recover before our long 36-hour flight going back home to California. And yesterday we had just got back from our Langtang Valley trek. It was an 11-day itinerary. Out of those 11 days, 6 days were actual trekking. So the purpose of this video, I just wanted to go over and just explain the items that I had taken with me on this trek. I am a first-time trekker, have never done this before. So at the time when I was packing my belongings for this trekking experience, I depended a lot on other like YouTube vloggers to see what they had packed, and I just sort of made some changes according to what my needs were going to be on this trip. So item number one, obviously if you are going to go trekking, you are going to need a trekking backpack. For this specific one, I bought it off of Amazon for $70 US, and it held up very well for me for these last 2 weeks. All the items I'm going to be mentioning today, it's pretty much everything that I carried in this backpack. I did not hire a porter. So the total weight of everything when I had packed it into here was about 10 to 11 kilograms, which is equivalent to like 22, 24 pounds. And honestly, it worked well for me. There are very expensive brands out there that cost about 200 to 300 US, like the Osprey, North Face, or some Columbia trekking backpacks. But personally, I did not want to spend an arm and a leg on a backpack that I don't know if I'm going to be using it again in the future. So this one, it worked out great for me. Just some key features you want to look out for when buying a trekking backpack, just making sure that the shoulders and the back are well padded and that it has the hip straps. That way it can help disperse the weight to like your hips instead of just all on your shoulders, and it wouldn't be too heavy. All right, so item two, clothing and attire. The temperature up in Langtang Village and Kinjin Gompa, it drops as low as like -4 degrees Celsius, which is equivalent to like 23 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. Most importantly, you want to bring warm layers that you can easily take off and on depending on how the weather is up there, because it can be very unpredictable too. So for me, I brought 4 jackets. First one was my fleece, and then I also brought a down jacket to wear over this one, and then I also brought a third bubble jacket. This one was also waterproof too. Thankfully, we did not encounter any rain during our trek, but it is possible for the weather to be raining up there too. And for the 4th layer, this one was more for heavy duty. So I sized up on this outer 4th one. The only time that I wore this one was on the trek to Sunglass Peak. So as the trekking guide and I, we got closer to reaching the peak on Sunglass, the wind, it got very like extreme, and I was like freezing cold even with these 3 layers that I had on. So I'm glad that I packed this 4th one when I was up there. So I ended up using this one for that part. Also, during nighttime when you're sleeping, it does get very, very cold. They do provide blankets too, but even then I felt like it wasn't enough. So I would just throw on all these layers to keep myself warm. For the shirts and pants, so I took 3 of the t-shirts. 2 of the shirts I was rotating back and forth for the trekking days, and then the 3rd one was just mainly a clean one just to sleep in. And I also took 1 really thin sleeve. This was mainly just for the daytime when the sunlight was just really strong and I was trying to just protect my arms from getting sunburned. For the pants, I took 3 of them. One was my main everyday trekking wear. This one was a lot thinner and a lot more breathable. And then for the second pants, this one has a fleece lining. It's a lot thicker. I used this one purposely just for sleeping, so it was a clean pair. I did not trek in these. Like I said, it just kept me a lot warmer during nighttime compared to like this one. So this one was my sleeping one. And then the third one is just a black leggings. And the only time I wore this one was for the extremely like cold morning treks that we were doing, like from Langtang Village to Kinchin-gompa, or for the Circle Ri. I would wear like the leggings under my trekking pants. So that way it was like a 2-layer and it kept me extremely warm. And for the underwears and bras, I took 5 pair of underwears and 3 of the bras. And hats, I brought a cap, and I also did bring a bucket hat. And I also did bring some gloves. These came in extremely very handy during the Circle Ri trek. It was extremely windy up there, like I said, so these kept my hands very warm. And also, of course, a neck gaiter. This thing really came in handy for like the Circle Ri and for the Langtang Valley trek to Kinchin-gompa. It just keeps your face extremely warm. Highly recommend to bring a neck gaiter. And this also came in very clutch for like the days when we were hiking where it was just very like dusty and very like windy. So you could just like pretty much shield your face with this too. And pretty much that's it for my clothing. Item number 3, proper footwear. Obviously, you are going to be trekking for about 6 to 9 hours daily. And you want to make sure that your trekking boots have good sole support and that they're waterproof. And also, most importantly, make sure that you have already broken into the shoes before coming to Nepal, because the last thing you want to deal with is having blisters up in the mountain. And in addition to my boots, I also brought a pair of sandals. Very handy, because at the end of a long day of trekking, the last thing you want to do is still be wearing your boots. It's nice to just switch into some flip-flops, let your feet breathe while you're at the guest house and in the dining rooms. And also when you're like going to the restrooms in the guest house, you can just easily throw on the flip-flops instead of, you know, putting on your socks and your hiking boots. And for the socks, I only took 3 pairs with me, which was more than enough. Item number 4, obviously you're out under the sunlight for many hours in the day, so you gotta take sunscreen to protect your face and protect your skin from the UV rays. Item number 5, over-the-counter medications. You never know what's going to happen out there. There are no pharmacies, so you got to make sure that you just bring it for backup. And I specifically took Tylenol, I took Zyrtex for allergy, I took an eye drop for eye allergy just because I'm prone to it. I took Imodium for diarrhea, which thankfully we did not have any episodes of that. And I did bring some Dayquil and NyQuil just in case if we were to have any fever up there. And I did bring also a Tiger Balm. I did ended up using the eye drops and also the Zyrtex, because towards the end of the trek, when we were coming back from Kinchin-gompa going towards Lama Hotel, I ended up getting a really bad like eye allergy from all the dust, started having a runny nose, so I started popping some of these medications and it was helping with the symptoms. I was also experiencing some minor headaches up there. I did take a few Tylenol and it did help with the symptoms. So these came in very handy. Item number 6, toiletries. Out of the 6 days that we were trekking, we had access to hot water and showers about 4 days out of the 6. And I packed all my toiletries in this little black bag here. I did take like a travel size shampoo, travel size body wash. I took a portable comb and brush, toothbrush, toothpaste. I did take also a chapstick, travel size lotion, along with a floss and a facial moisturizer. When using the bathroom over there, they do not provide toilet papers. They use water to clean down there, and I guess it's just a difference in hygienic practice, I think. But whatever the case is, if you're going to use toilet paper, just make sure that you do not flush these down the toilets. I guess the plumbing system here isn't that great, and don't be that person that's going to clog up the pipelines at these guest houses. So there should be a designated trash bin in all the restrooms you use at the guest house. Just throw it accordingly, and again, do not flush it down the toilet. In addition to the toilet roll, I also did bring like wipes just for the days that we didn't like have access to shower. That way you could just clean down there. And also at the guest house, they do not provide towels, so I went ahead and just purchased a microfiber thin travel towel for this trek. It's very thin, very light, easy to just fold and take it on the go compared to like a regular thick towel. Item number 7, mask. It's not required, but I only brought it because the air quality here in Kathmandu, it's very polluted. It's not the greatest, and I did not want to breathe in all the dust and all the smogs and all the smokes. So I only wear it for that purpose. And also I did wear the mask during the ride going to and coming back from Sayur-Bubesi. So the road condition, it's very uneven, and it's just mainly dirt roads. We took a Jeep with other passengers, and there was no air conditioning inside the vehicle. So they would just roll down like all the windows, and as they drove through these dirt roads, just a whole bunch of dust was like coming in and coming out of the car. So I did not want to breathe in all that, and I would just wear it for that purpose only. Item number 8, a small first aid kit. I took Band-Aids, I took a Coban, alcohol swabs, Neosporin, along with an emergency blanket, but I did not use that. I just took the Band-Aids just in case if we were to have any minor scrapes, in case blisters, any just like small injuries. Item number 9, you are going to need a pair of sunglasses, especially once you go up in high elevation and you start seeing like snow on top of the mountains. The sunlight does get pretty harsh as it's being reflected by the snow. So item number 10, you're going to need a water bottle to hydrate. Even if you don't bring your own, they do sell like 1 liter size water bottles up in these guest house villages for about 300 to 350 Nepali rupees, which is equivalent to about $2 to $3 US. Item 11, I took like extra laundry bags just to separate out the like dirty, smelly clothes from my clean ones. That way it doesn't mix in my backpack. Item number 12, liquid IV packets. You're going to be sweating a lot as you're trekking for many hours under the sun. And also, I was getting tired of just drinking plain water. I started having some cravings for like Gatorades and like sports drinks, so I felt like these were a great substitute for a Gatorade. I took like the watermelon and also like the strawberry flavor too. So I highly do recommend to take some form of like electrolytes. Item 13, crampons for the bottom of the shoes. The only time I whipped these out to use it was for the trek to Circle Peak, and these definitely did help me a lot because as we got closer to the top, there were a lot of snow on the ground, and I felt like just by wearing only my boots, I wasn't having a really good grip as we were climbing up in elevation. So these definitely came in very handy, and I highly do recommend to take a pair. Item 14, electronics that I took with me. I took 2 power banks. Honestly, I could have just got away with 1 because out of the 6 days, we had access to electricity for like 4 of the trekking days. So I think one would have just been enough for me, but I was just being extra cautious only. And then I did bring my iPhone gimbal, my iPhone 12. I took my Apple Watch, and also my Sony camera, batteries, all the chargers and cords for the watch, the phone, and most importantly, a universal adapter is what you are going to need. So the one that I took, it has like 4 USB ports. That way you could charge multiple devices at once, and then also like a universal plug. Item 15, a fanny pack to organize your money, passport, and just important documents. On our drive going to and coming out of Sire Bubesi, we did multiple checkpoint stops, and we had to keep showing them our passports throughout different like driving points. So it's very important to just, you know, keep all of that close with you. And also like during these drive, our backpacks, like our main trekking backpack, it wasn't with us. It was like, you know, tied to the top of like the roof. So you just want to make sure that you don't leave those kind of important documents in there, and make sure that it's like directly, you know, on your body at all times. Item 16, I did take some snacks, specifically some granola bars and also some Cheez-It crackers, just because that time duration in between, you know, from when you eat breakfast until like your lunch meal, there's about 5 to 6 hours in between. And it felt great to just be able to snack on something to refuel my strength. And they also do sell like candy bars in these guest house villages, which I ended up buying a couple after all my snacks had ran out. And the candy bars up there, it costed about like 300 to 350 Nepali rupees, which is about $2 to $3. And for this last category, I labeled it as good to have, but personally I didn't take it. So trekking poles, I did not take it with me because I was doing a lot of just like video recording and like taking pictures, so it wasn't going to be like a very efficient flow for me to be having trekking poles on one arm and, you know, holding camera on the other arm. That's why I did not take it. But if you're someone who uses it, absolutely, you know, bring your trekking poles. The second item was a sleeping bag, which I did not bring it for the sake of space, and I felt like it wasn't really necessary for the Langtang Valley trek, because up there, if you need extra blankets, you could ask for extra too, and that's what I did. Thinking back now, would I have still taken a sleeping bag? I do not think I would have. This pretty much concludes it for the list of items that I took with me on my Langtang Valley trek. Again, reflecting back, I don't think I would have added or taken away anything. All the items that I mentioned are things that I used, and I felt that were essential to like my experience. And for those of you who are going to be considering doing this trek, I highly recommend for you guys to jump on it. And it is going to be a very physically, emotionally, and mentally challenging, but the scenic views are going to absolutely make the experience a worthwhile one. Hopefully you all were able to take away something from today's video, and happy travels and safe travels to everyone.